Thanks for staying with us here on TVC Breakfast. Now, financial technology, also known as Fintech, involves the use of technology to improve and automate financial services, making them more accessible, efficient, and cost-effective. Fintech holds immense promise driven by advancements in technology, shifting consumer behaviors, and increasing demand for digital financial services. Emerging trends such as artificial intelligence and machine learning has continued to play a vital role in fintech, enabling more accurate risk assessment, personalized financial services, and enhanced customer experiences. Let's talk this through by speaking to an electronic payment and digital banking specialist, Oluwaseun Adeoye, who is joining us from Canada. Good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Right. I'd like to start off with you by asking how you think recent technological innovations transformed the fintech landscape, and what emerging technologies do you anticipate will drive the next wave of fintech evolution?
Okay, so yes, you're right. We see today that a lot of things have happened in the technology space. We see AI, we see blockchain, we see a lot of things happening in technology, and we hope to see more in going into what we would enhance. So we see AI and blockchain doing a lot of work, and what we also see is this centralized financing. And in by decentralized financing, even though with AI and decentralized financing is what we see coming up now, and we see this being used in Africa. Invariably, we have some companies that have used this and they're thriving. Take an instance of a customer or someone who wants to borrow, a farmer who wants to borrow in Kenya. What we've seen is that with the use of AI, they're able to check through their mobile transactions, and with this, create inclusion for this kind of person. And with this kind of inclusion, what happens is you are able to knock off the credit score, and you're able to, of course, give out or dish out loans to this kind of customers or this kind of users. And looking at the global trend, it just means that Africa is moving ahead, is forging ahead, and they're not looking at the traditional system.
Okay. All right. You took part of my question. You've answered it, but I'm going ahead to ask you, with AI's growing role in various sectors, how is artificial intelligence being integrated into fintech services, and what potential benefits and challenges does this integration present?
Okay, so as regards challenges and risk, what we need to look at is of course looking at cybersecurity, look at regulations, and of course digital divide. Any user would want to seamlessly do their transactions and not be scared of hackers or anything. So we want this kind of thing would enable users or enable the simple market woman or the simple grandmother in probably South Africa who has saved her money, and knowing that she's not, or he or she is not able or is not prone to attacks using this kind of services. What we see, we can look at South Africa, who has created like a sandbox environment, and this has really worked for them. People can latch into that. South Africa is an African country. Nigerians can also improve on sandbox environment and, of course, enable fintechs to do this. And of course, by this, we'll see that we would be able to grow the financial space, cybersecurity being in place, regulations also being in place. The aim of it is that even when we are growing forward, we are moving forward in the place of innovation and infrastructure. We're not knocking off just money. We're not just talking about money. So we're also changing lives and moving people forward.
Absolutely. Okay. And talking about money, if you see, major banks are now offering deferred payment options to compete with fintech startups. I'm wondering how you see the future of buy now, pay later services evolving, and what impact do you think this would have on traditional credit systems?
Okay, so the impact is very simple. We see banks like EcoBank also creating like a digital currency. The INR has been there for a bit, and of
Yeah.
course, we also know that there are different points. What we'll see in the future is that both the centralized the CBN systems also merging with stablecoin or wrapping up around this. And of course, with this kind of thing, what it will create is growth because we know that for Africans and Africa at large would see this kind of growth happen. And of course, we should not take the world at large because the world in itself would see growth. And looking at Africa, since this has worked in Africa, it means that it can work everywhere in the world. And of course, we know that Africa is a land for technology, and we see a lot of fintechs coming up and technology also delving in Africa.
That's interesting. Well, several banks and fintech companies are entering the stablecoin market to enhance cross-border payment. What are the implications of this trend for the global financial system, and how might it affect traditional banking models?
Okay, so stablecoin is a game changer. We see companies like EcoBank. We see also like the fintech like Flutterwave doing or working around this, and this has made business cheaper for a lot of people. So you see small business now able to do cross-border transactions because of what people like Flutterwave have done. And overall, what would happen is that even the SWIFT um, regulation that is governed by government will look at this, and of course it's not a competition, but they would also latch on this, and of course we can coexist. And of course, because of this, Africa would continue to show innovation without losing control.
Interesting stuff. So these are all the things coming together. But do you think Nigerians are really buying into, making good advantage or taking good advantage rather of these innovations coming from banks, fintechs, and all of that? How they've ensured that they've decentralized the banking system?
Yes, Nigerians are taking good use of it. One of the things that we also see is we can look at the buy now, pay later service, which has worked not just in Nigeria but in Africa as a whole. And if we go down to the POS service in code today, one of the things that most people have or most people take advantage of is the points where they have instant gratification. So more like they have instant settlement. This was not available at some point, but this is more like a service that people have seen. They've seen this opportunity, and they, of course, take advantage of it. So you don't have to wait for your monies, even though the banks and NIBs have a way of settling this. But we see this that on this side of the business, people are taking advantage of it. And of course, it also draws down to the buy now pay later service, which M-Kopa has done for some people in Kenya, and they're able to of course get this service running. And what we see also is traditional banks are also partnering with fintechs to create hybrid models for this kind of things. And globally, what it would mean is that people are protected, and of course, technology keeps innovating.
Interesting development. Right, thank you very much for speaking with us. We really appreciate your keenness of insight on this very important conversation that we have. Oluwaseun Adeoye, electronic payments and digital banking specialist, all the way from Canada. Thank you so much for your keenness of insight. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.